Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing great. Today we have the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. So I've had this for a couple of weeks now. I got it in early February, but this is my mom's phone, not mine. I haven't had the time to film it, so it's still in its box. I know we're a little bit late to this whole unboxing thing, considering it's March and the phone was released back in early February. But we'll be unboxing it in this video regardless. So first things first, we've gotten used to these kinds of unboxings where they don't really have anything inside aside from the phone. It's a very minimalist presentation on the outside, very professional. So opening up the box, here on the back side, you have an insert where your SIM ejector tool is, a quick start guide, and underneath you have your USB-C cable. Here we have the phone. The screen has a little pull tag here and nothing else inside the box. This is the Galaxy S25 Ultra in natural titanium. As you can see here, we have a quad camera setup. This is absolutely beautiful. Obviously, it has not changed at all in the past couple of years since the Galaxy S22 Ultra in terms of design. It has the same camera setup, and the only real difference is internal hardware. There are slight differences there, including the actual physical design of the camera ring. So that is a subtle difference, but again, not something that most people will pick up on. So if you take a closer look, they are a bit separated from the body of the phone. They're like these islands rather than being directly placed on the back glass, which again, not a big difference. A little Samsung logo down here. So we're going to peel this off the screen. Now, to power on the phone, as you can see, a beautiful screen with very minimal bezels. It's very boxy. So on the sides, we have the titanium material as well as now the infamous S Pen, because this does not support Bluetooth. So the S Pen has always been a Bluetooth S Pen, but not anymore. This is the first built-in S Pen on a Galaxy flagship phone that does not have Bluetooth functionality. So we no longer have it, at least for this generation of phones, which is a really strange decision because if you look at the teardown videos that cover, the interior parts of the S Pen, it still has all the components that are required to function with Bluetooth, except for the battery. So this no longer has a battery inside the S Pen, which is kind of needed to function on its own, right? On the bright side, everything else on the pen is still going to work just the same. You're just limited to physical screen interactions. It still has a little clicky thing, which you can use as a fidget toy. So that's the bit of bad news about this phone, if that's something that you used often. But we'll put this back. You get a little vibration feedback, which is pretty nice, as well as a little sound to let you know that the S Pen is inserted. And as for the S Pen features, there's all kinds of things that you can do on your setup once you take out the S Pen. At the bottom of the phone, we have the speaker, the charging port, and the place for the SIM card. And on the left side, it's pretty bland. Just your antenna, no buttons. All the buttons are actually located on the right side of the phone with your volume rocker at the top and your power button towards the middle of the phone. At the top, we have just a microphone. The feeling in hand is very premium. It feels iPhone-esque in the sense of how the glass meets with the frame of the device, and this is how my iPhone 15 Pro feels, which is why I'm saying it. It has like this kind of slight lip on the edges, which make it feel extra premium. For the display, we have a new feature on board, which is the anti-reflective glass, which lets you see the screen better with little reflection compared to a standard phone, which improves visibility. So let me put it side by side with another phone so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So if you look right on the iPhone 15 Pro, the window is reflecting quite a bright light from the outside sun. But if you look at the top corner of the Galaxy S25 Ultra, the same picture is being reflected, but not as much. There's less light being reflected, and its purpose is to make the screen much better for outdoor viewing and general viewing as a whole. It's a beautiful screen, so let's set it up and we'll talk more about it. All right, so it's set up. Going to the lock screen, you'll be greeted by Now Brief, which basically gives you news updates, your health assist score, and it's something that Samsung talked about in their presentation as being basically this overall view of information to start your day. Basically, they use all your health app information from your watch or ring, and it'll transfer that into your health assist score, which they include in your now brief. Again, there are options to turn this on or off. And so basically the whole health assist score is another AI thing where basically it uses all the information and metrics to really give you a score, a number on how your body is feeling in case you don't already know that. Dynamic AMOLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate and a peak brightness of 2600 nits, which is insane. No one needs that much brightness on a screen. Moving on to the cameras, let's check out that quad camera setup. So we have a 200 megapixel wide lens, 10 megapixel telephoto lens, 50 megapixel periscope lens, and an upgraded 50 megapixel ultra wide angle lens. You have all the same features, up to 100 times zoom for the moonshots. Here we have macro mode turned on, which is not too bad. As you can see, there's a pretty good amount of detail, and it's very clear for this kind of feature. So when you go up to the settings, you get 3 options. You get your 200 megapixel mode, 50 megapixel mode, and your standard 12 megapixel mode. The 12 megapixel mode is what's going to come out of the box by default. It looks clear, which is something that you expect from a phone that cost half your rent. So scrolling over here, we have more modes. Starting off with recording raw, so you get more control when editing. You also have your normal pro mode, you have your normal pro video mode, your pro photo mode, your night mode, portrait video, which is still really cool, and single take, which despite being a gimmick is still here. I'm sure that maybe by now they have improved upon it. One thing I did notice, they did not include director's view. So if you look at all these options, none of them say director's view, which was very popular on the Galaxy S21 Ultra, I believe, and also S22 Ultra. They only have dual recording mode, which is a recording mode that records the front selfie and rear cameras simultaneously, but doesn't have director's view. With videos, we have a ton of options. We have up to 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 60 and 30, and most of the time, you're going to stick with 1080p at 60 frames per second just because it saves with file space on your phone, and it's still very high quality. It's like the best in terms of compromise. So regardless, unless you're filming this for content, there's very little to criticize about this camera. Most of the people that buy this phone, I feel like, are going to be very impressed. So Samsung has included some filters, which you can adjust the strength and contrast and saturation. It's essentially giving you a different style for your photos. It's something that Apple is doing as well with their styles. And one of my favorite improvements that I cannot go without saying is Samsung's shutter speed improvement. Look at that. This is actually so impressive. It's something that Samsung has struggled with to keep up with the iPhone, and it's actually keeping up right now. Look at the side by side. That's insane. So I'm really happy to see that because this camera is obviously great, but something that has plagued every Samsung phone, regardless of how much you pay, you will get some kind of shutter lag. And that is something that all reviewers have pointed out, but this one has highly improved. Let me just show you the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Side by side, look at the shutters on both. I have taken like 5 photos and the S21 Ultra has taken only 2. You can see that the S21 Ultra looks like an old film movie versus the S25 Ultra, which looks like you're just taking a photo. So that's a great improvement, and I've always hated that about Samsung phones. When they had that shutter lag, you would pay $1,000 or more for a camera that would still lag when you press the button. And so that's something that I'm so happy that they solved. It took them long enough. Moving on to software, your control menu. Very similar to the iPhone setup, you have your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, you can increase or decrease brightness and volume. So tell me what this setup reminds you of. Apple. So I just discovered this. You can also swipe in between the 2 menus. So if you are in your notification panel, but you also want to adjust your brightness, you just swipe left or right, depending on what menu you're on. This is the new One UI 7. Another design change is when you navigate to your recent apps, you have a very iPhone style pile rather than what we have seen Samsung before. And so it's just a little bit weird. This is more iPhone. I mean, you really just can't go wrong with this kind of phone. It offers a very premium experience and a premium build. So lastly, we have a case here from Spigen. This is the Optic Armor camera case, and it comes with a movable camera protector. So putting this on for the first time, there we go. Your cameras are protected. You can go incognito with this camera protector. Now it looks very stealthy. On the right side, you have your normal buttons for power and volume. On the left side, you have nothing. On the front side, you have a good amount of raised lip to protect your phone from accidental drops on the screen. At the bottom, you have a cutout for your S Pen. You're still able to get it in and out without any issues. Here's your speaker, your USB-C port. This is a very protective case. So that was the end of this video. That was the S25 Ultra for you, and I will be doing a comparison against the S21 Ultra. Like I said, we are not fully signed in yet, so we'll be covering all the AI features in the comparison video, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.